Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, it's Blaine from Space Between Ideas, and check it out. So, what's the temperature à la Quebec? It's 2 degrees outside, and the high today is going to be 3 degrees, and then it's going to be -2 tonight, which is awesome because actually, I think this is going to be the first time this year that we went under the zero mark. Going to be have some negative, some minus weather. I didn't turn on my heat this year, so also I got this other problem because my water is like broken. My hot water heater is broken, so I don't have any heat. I don't have hot water. I don't have heat in my apartment. So also that I got, well, I got a stove. So I got last month. So I didn't use any gas for like heating my apartment, and also my hot water heater has been broken for a couple months. So I'm only using gas with one device, which is my stove. I got the bill for my gas like a couple days ago for the previous month, and it was 1.7 lari, which is like I think it's 3 lari for $1. So I guess my gas bill was 50 cents. 50 cents of cooking, and that was my gas bill. The electricity bill, I can't remember. I think it was somewhere around 6 or 7 lari, which is basically like under $3. Under $3, it's like $2 and a little bit. So like my total utilities fees last month was, and also my water bill. My water bill was 25 cents, and what's that? Are we under? We're under $5 for all my utilities. Yeah, my dog he eats about 16 lari of food each week, which is $5. So yeah, and then there's me. I eat the rest. 30% of my income is I'm using for French language lessons, which means I'm crazy, right? I don't know. But French is really important to me. In fact, there's a lot of things that are important to me, and the more I think about what's important to me, the more I realize that like I need some way of like, well, let's take a look. One thing I wanted to talk about today, it comes from the methodologies. You see that like it's important to understand powerful methodologies because as you start to understand the powerful methodologies, then at some point you can start applying these methodologies to your thinking. And then once you apply them to your thinking, you no longer have to live in a cold apartment with cold water. Because I go jogging with my dog. Either I ride my bike or I go jogging up this hill. I live in a village, so it's like 1 kilometer over, 1 kilometer up, and then zigzag back. Friggin' dog, he just loves to run. I mean, he's been running ever since he was a baby. So I found this dog like on the side of the dirt road and next to the hospital. And I just went home, and then I could see that it was going to be like raining the next day, and it's going to be cold. And I thought maybe I should just bring him to my house. So he's been in my house for 2 years. And ever since the very beginning, because I used to always jog when, 2 years ago when I got here. I've been here for like 4 years actually. Anyways, we used to jog up the mountain, up the hill, and he would get so tired, so he would come over to me and he'd be like, "Oh, carry me." He was just a little teeny tiny puppy, so I'd carry him for a little while, and then I put him down. At that time, like there was like 4 or 5 other dogs that would run with us, so we would all jog up the hill, and we were all just, I don't know, it was like the time of innocence. Now he's a monster. Like these days, it's been like a hassle because he keeps barking at other dogs and attacking other dogs and running after cars. So, uh, yeah, he's in the doghouse these days. Anyway, so I get back from running and like because it's like 11:30 at night and I'm hot and sweaty, and then it's like, oh yeah, I forgot I only have cold water, so I turn on the shower, and at first it was painful, like emotionally painful. Like it was really hard to overcome this like because I just knew it was going to get colder and it was going to get colder and it was going to get colder, and I didn't know if I could do it, and I couldn't do it. But I didn't have a choice because damn water's broken, so the hot water heater's broken. So like, what are you going to do? You're not take a shower after you go running? That worked one night because the thing is like it's cold, so you got to put on all your damn clothes again, And then if you're hot and sweaty underneath your clothes, you're not going to sleep very well, and you're not going to dry. So I had to like just bite the bullet and what, you're not going to go running? Because the stupid dog, like every night, it's like there's an alarm. Actually, there's an alarm that goes off. So the alarm goes off, and he goes crazy. Oh, it's time to go outside. I'm going outside. What's it gonna go for? It's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and then boom, and then so. But the thing is that like it just got a little bit colder, a little bit colder. Like every day, it would go down 1 or 2 degrees. Last night it was 1 degree when I went running, and I had a pair of shorts on. I wear flip flops when I jog. I had my flip flops and just my regular shirt, and then a sweater. And then I finished the first 1 kilometer, and then I took off my sweater because it's like because my body, it just there's something strange that happens. Your body, once the outside temperature reaches a certain level, then you don't feel cold anymore. Your body like it just turns something on inside of you, and it's like, okay, so you don't want to be cold, so I'm just gonna make sure that you're being heated up. It's like it's weird. And then I jumped into the shower after I get back, and like I could feel the cold water, and it's like 5 or 6 degrees now, and it's painful. Like I could feel the pain, but it's not like you know how like you put your hand in hot water, and it's not like if it's not too hot, but it's hot enough that it hurts. So that's the thing. It's not going to actually hurt your hand, but it's just hot enough so your body's telling you this is hot and it hurts. With cold water, it's the same thing. But the thing is, with cold water, once you get to below zero, it turns into ice. So your body actually never tells you it's too cold that you're gonna die. It just doesn't happen because it never actually gets that cold. Like if you have like some kind of like chemical that could like make your hand freeze, then like I'm sure it would get like it would start hurting. But anyways, so I'm in the cold water, and I just lean into it, and it's just like, huh. I think I can do this. And that actually then something changed. And it said in my brain, it said, I like this. Oh, it's so weird. I was like, what? I like this. And then I'm like scrubbing, I'm like, washing my hair. And it's like 6 degrees Celsius in this water. And I'm just like, ooh, this is cold. It's like, wow, this is amazing. It's like, and my fingers, they're not moving. They're so cold. I can't even wash my hair. And it's like, it's so cold. But at the same time, it's like, wow, this is awesome. Yeah. So, anyways, the moral of the story is I don't even know what the moral of the story is. All right, so we got a problem. So the thing is that like I'm using ChatGPT, I'm using Gemini, I'm using Claude, I'm using Grok, but it doesn't really matter what you use. The thing is that you have this issue called a token context window, and it doesn't seem like anyone's solving. They even created a whole movie called Tron to explain that like there's an issue. We're having an issue with the token context window. So Tron is like, well, you can last 21 minutes outside of the matrix in physical form, but then you're just going to fall apart. And it's like, exactly. So this is what we're like. How are you going to get to this, whatever you call it, general intelligence? You're nowhere even close. Stupid people. Like, okay, like what does it mean to be generally intelligent? I mean, I guess you have to have some like certain definition, but it certainly doesn't mean that you're alive for 1 million tokens and then you're dead, because then you have to carry. It's like what happens is that agent, it's alive, and then at some point it starts to get old and then it dies. Okay, so you've solved for some amount of intelligence, but then it's dead. It's like, and depending on the context, like depending on what we're talking about, it could die in like a matter of days. What kind of organism dies in a couple of days? Insects. So you're oh, I forgot to turn off that alarm. What kind of intelligence is like dead in days? Insects. Right here. You built an insect. All right. So we got 40 minutes before my French lesson, first French lesson of the day. Oh, So what I wanted to talk about is I reached this point where I was like a little baby, right? So I started using AI tools. I guess everybody was using AI tools. And then I started using it for a bunch of different reasons. What do you want, Gordon? He wants to go outside. He thinks that's the alarm for telling him he can go outside. Gordon, you're the star of the show. What are you going to say? Do you have something to say? Are you going to say bow, wow, wow? He's looking outside. He's looking out through the window. He wants to be outside. Do you want to be free as a bird? Gordon, do you want to be free as a... He wants to lick himself. Okay, so I tried to embrace it. And eventually what happened is, I've been teaching my course about the endeavor cycle and like and then I don't think it's going to work. This always happens when I try to share my... Oh, did it work? Did they finally fix it? This always happens when like it... No, about that. I finished talking about that. All right, so when I started teaching, yeah, this is what happens when you fill your brain with ideologies and methodologies and systems. Is that eventually, if these are true systems, if they're real systems, they'll sprout and begin to grow into your reality. Like this, you can do better by thinking better, and thinking better using tools and techniques. This course offers perspective regarding a variety of thinking tools and techniques that can help you do better when doing work, selecting, getting more value from other tools, extending and integrating tools, developing yourself and your staff so you can capture future opportunities. What? So I've been teaching this damn course the whole time. So this is Tom sent me this. I mean, I did some slight adjusting to the words because he talks like a scientist. He's a physicist. I changed it a little bit, and I never actually understand anything the guy says. I read his book and I teach his book, and I could sense something about this. It's kind of like when I started looking at Triz. I was like, Trizak, Blizak. There must be something about this if it's called Triz, right? Because Triz, that just sounds cool. So I started studying some Trizak and Blizak, and then suddenly I was like, wait a minute. What the frick? Where's my Triz? Here it is. So then I'm like, it's like the evolution of a technical system. There's a working element, there's transmission, there's an engine, there's a control element. And I'm like, huh. So like engineers, these bastards are like, they're smart, and then they figure out how things connect. Like, what am I? I'm like an artist, and I'm like a social scientist, and I'm walking around talking to people in all their jibber jabber, different languages. I started making a video, like, cause I gotta practice my French, and like Google Gemini is like good enough now that you can take a screenshot with your phone, like of a worksheet. So I take a screenshot of my worksheet, and then I can like talk French to it about that worksheet. And it's like, wow. And then there's also like text on the screen, so you can kind of see what it's saying. So I started making a video every night, and then after I did like an hour of French, I'm like, hey, I still love Russian. So then I take a screenshot of like some Russian book, and then I start reading in Russian. And then I'm like, hey, and I'm like, freak, I'm not angry about China anymore. Maybe I should start like speaking Chinese again. So I started making a video every night because when I get back from my run, it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're not gonna be able to sleep like right now. You just went for a 4K run, and you took a cold shower. It means that you're like, you know, you're awake. So that's why I started making these videos. Check this out. Where's my Russian textbook? Français vocabulaire. That's my French textbook. Check this out. So in my next lesson, I think I'm on this one. Alors Chris, ici Anne. J'ai deux billets. So my French tutor from Lebanon, she says billet, but I think it's billet. J'ai 2 billets pour une pièce à l'université samedi soir. Ça t'intéresse? So the word pièce is kind of interesting because it's the same word for room. So a play, you want to go see a play, or my room, it's the same word. I'm kind of confused. Bien sûr, Anna, c'est sympa de ne pas m'avoir oublié, mais dis-moi un peu de quoi il s'agit. Tell me a little bit about it. So I do this textbook. I also got this freaking like this one's fun. This one's actually kind of funny. So it says в деньгах счастье. В одном доме жили два человека, богатый и бедный. Бедный много работал и за работой пел. Когда бедный пел, богатый не мог спать. Он дал бедному много денег, чтобы он не пел. Бедный перестал петь. И ему стало скучно. Он пошел к богатому и сказал: «Возьми деньги назад, а мне позволь петь. Лучше жить бедно, да весело». That's pretty good. But actually, the problem I'm having these days is not with the the thing with Chinese. Actually, it's like 加拿大国际广播电台是 what is this? 提供各种语言广播. So the thing about Chinese is that like I never checked if the friggin' audio works. When you're checking the audio, you have to keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. It friggin' works good. All right. So let's get back. So the problem with Chinese is like you have to understand every single character. There's no way to read it if you don't know the actual characters. Like this. Yuan, Zhu, Min, Da, Hui. I don't know. What is Hu and then what is this? Hu Yu. This looks like Yu. You see this is Yu with what is it called? Kouzipeng. I don't know if it's called Kouzipeng. Anyway, so it has the ko next to it, and then it has yu. So the sound is like yu, and then but this is the meaning. It's called a radical. Hu yu. And then what? Chexiao. Chexiao. What is this? Chexiao? Is this no, it's not chexiao. What is this? Chexiao. Shu shu. What is this? Shu or shu you guandao xie. You see, so like you don't know if you don't know the character, like you're not gonna be able to like read anything. So yeah, I'm just trying to do like a quick little, So every night I'm just doing all this craziness, reading up all these languages until I just pass out at night. Yeah, so we're doing technical systems, and then so it's like he's like, dude, if you can think better, then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using tools and techniques, and then but the thing is we have technologia. So, like, imagine this thinking tool. So, okay, so a business or you personally, you're trying to make decisions. And how do you make decisions? Well, you have to have thinking frameworks and data analysis. And what is that thinking framework and data? What is this about? What's the, what is the thing? What's the topic of that data analysis and those thinking frameworks? Following orders. Following orders and rules. Okay, so but it's from your hands. What I mean by following orders and rules is like you have to follow the directions for how to get something done. All right, so technician. You're doing something. In order to do the thing, you have to have some paperwork. You have to have transactions to get the thing done or to record that a thing has been done. And then, well, you need some library to manage those documents. So that's what I wanted to talk about today is the librarian function. See, I have two projects, Project Arrowhead, and then in the last video, I told you about Project ClickBounce. And ClickBounce, it's a couple of things. It's just to kind of experiment with social media. It's also to experiment payment, like, back-end payment tools. So yeah, I'm trying to, I guess I'm going to use Paddle because the thing is, I don't really want to like register a company right away. So like, I just had to figure out which payment systems are going to work in my situation. And I guess Paddle could be a potential system. And what I realized is like, hey, wait a minute, like I'm cold. And it's nice to like tell yourself that like I can handle cold weather and like I can be motivated and do work even when conditions around me are not ideal. But that doesn't mean I actually want to stay in this condition. It doesn't mean like, yeah, I'm satisfied with this, because I got ladies, the ladies are like, hey, so we're going back to your place. And it's like, uh, yeah, sure. Then they come back to my place and they're like, why is it so cold? It's like, because I don't have any money for heat. And they're like, what? Why does your house smell like a dog? Like, because, like, 'cause I don't think you're going to last too long in the cold. But the dog seems to be fine with it. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? Maybe I'm going crazy in the cold weather. Anyways, once you realize that it doesn't matter the external environment and that the only thing that you have in your life is your internal environment and how you're going to manage your decisions and your habits, then you like, and like at the same time, you have all these thinking tools and thinking methodologies, then you have to turn it into some kind of practical system eventually. You have to be the engineer. So I was thinking about like, I don't like these LLMs. LLMs, they're not good at maintaining context. I'm doing all these projects. I'm constantly using LLMs, and they just keep messing up. They keep having problems, and it's impossible to. You can't share like the conversation from one window with another. So, how do I deal with that? How do I deal with sharing the context from one window to another window? And I just realized that LLMs, they're not a good librarian. They're not good at managing data in a database. But the IDEs are. And I was like, what? IDEs? IDEs. IDEs is the way to go. I just realized that IDEs is the way to go. IDEs is the solution. IDEs are the future. IDEs, the future. Oh, it's me again. All right, let's share the whole screen. I'm going to share the system audio. No. All right, so check this out. So this little buddy here, his name is Project Life. Oh, you can see it now. Oops. Now, see all these recent projects, tax and business registration. Okay, so all of these, oh no, these are searches. All of these chat with mother. Why is it going so dang slow? There we go. Okay, I just made the YouTube thumbnail for this video. Here's Project Life. Here's Julia. So Julia, she's from Project ClickBounce. Find a job. This one has like, I got a job with a Lebanese company to do some corporate training. Architect 13. This is from Project Arrowhead. Kevin is from Project ClickBounce. Vortex is from Project Arrowhead. Webmaster is from Arrowhead. News, read the news. This is like from like it's from this tab actually. So what I do is like I get an email from this Canadian news anchor. His name is Peter Mansbridge. He sends out these like emails every week. So I try to keep up with this. And like today, Alberta energy deal marks a major shift in Canadian politics. So I got to read this one. Oh, what happened? Died. I can't read it. Oh goodness, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get around the paywall? All right, here we go. So, Andrew Coyne, I haven't heard from him for a long time. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna we're gonna copy and paste the article. Oops, it is. Yeah, so like what happened is for a different project. You are okay, so look what happened. So you are one of the several AI collaborators helping me build a long-term life OS around plain text markdown files and simple tools. Context about my system. I store knowledge as a markdown under a root folder called Project Life, key folders, calibration, identity preferences, tech stack, active state, raw logs from voice and mobile notes, active projects, one folder per project, complete and inactive material. A Telegram Gemini bot logs my voice notes into 10 stream voice log. Windsurf Cascade is my main coding architecture assistant will ingest your answer. Your role, your responsibility for one specific project I'm working on. I'll describe it now. You want to be to produce a clear, structured project brief. Cascade can drop into 20 projects and use to plan sprints. I see those because they're talking about. There was this like you. It sent me some weird ass YouTube video, and it was like saying how it has kind of like some system for filing projects, archives, stream. So we got calibration, stream, projects, and archive. That's different than that system I was talking about. Uh, Please respond in Markdown for the following headings: project name, one sentence description, primary domain, goals and outcomes, 12-month outcome, 3-month outcome, definition, scope and boundaries, current state, dependencies and interface, idea collaboration with AI, intermediate horizon, anything else Cascade should know, important, keep your entire. Yeah, so Cascade created this prompt, and then I fed the prompt to like everybody, like all of my main. Anyway, so look what it did. It created this thing. Okay, so given our extensive discussion about the diverging 2026 economy, Canadian sovereignty, the tale of two cities that have taken in a strategic audit and action plan to position my finances, career, data sovereignty to thrive amidst predicted economy divergence, geopolitical instability in 2026. The macro. This is basically these are just those are actually news articles because what I do is I just cut and paste the whole news article, and then it's going to give me a summary of the article, and then it's going to reprint the entire article. All I have to say is "and this one," and then that's the keyword so that it will. Here you go. See, here's the summary. In this opinion piece, Andrew Coyne describes a newly signed memorandum of understanding between Prime Minister Carney, and then here's the full text. Now, why do I want to do that? Because I stopped reading. I don't really read. I hate reading. It's just like read silently in your head. I don't like it. What is this one? Okay, so what I do is I just there. So there you go. So then I click this little button here. Wow. All right. So, anyways, you get the point. So that's what I'm doing to read the news. Uh, Find a job, architect Kevin. Yeah, Kevin and Julia. I used them for Project Click Bounce. I made that in my last video and read the news, avoiding text. And this was trying to figure out some kind of like which payment provider can I connect to my projects. All right. Anyways, what's going on here? Based on the summary you shared, you successfully completed the build. Yours works perfectly. Your specific answers to 3 questions. What do I do with this summary data? The text you pasted, a weekly review with actions already been saved in your hard drive. What is this? So I wanted to say one more thing. So my thinking methodology, I finally was able to map it down to the base questions of life. The base questions of life are where, why, how, and what. So the first question when you meet somebody is like, what are you doing with your time? All right. So, and if they're like, what should I do? I don't know what to do. Okay. So pick two of like the most important things that you need to do, and then put them like, just write it down. Write down two things, the two most important things that you need to do, and then pick one to start on. That's it. Boom. And then you're like, well, I have motivation. And it's like, okay, no problem. We can deal with Fog's motivation model. I don't mind. So if you're not doing it, then we have an issue. But how are you going to overcome that issue? Either you're going to have to create a facilitator trigger, which means to understand the steps towards accomplishing the action, or you need a spark. So you need some dopamine. If you have like dopamine addiction, you have dopamine addiction. I love dopamine. So how can we get some more dopamine? Because you're feeling annoyed. We want to give you some drugs. But if you're like, I love working, I have tons of dopamine, like I'm really interested in this project, but it's so dang hard. It's like, okay, so then you need you need some AI tools to help you. Like right now, it turns out that actually I have a huge amount of motivation. I didn't even realize it. Like imagine a man that goes to China and learns a whole language just because he wants to understand the Chinese people a little bit better, and then he goes to Russia and learns the Russian language just because he wants to understand the Russian people a little bit better, and then he learns the French language because he wants to go back to Canada and work as a member of Parliament. All right, so it seems like I have a huge amount of motivation, and it feels still like I learned whole languages just to get like opportunities. So looks like my main issue is facilitation trigger. But then like AI came out, and now it's like, man, I got like mad facilitation. I can like hire all these different like tools. So, but see, the issue for me was always math. Like, if you want to learn coding, it means you have to understand math. But like, math was like 100% the weakest thing that I could possibly consider as like, one time I was driving a school bus, and there was a test on the school bus exam, like to become a school bus driver. And there was one test that had some numbers in it. That's the only question I got wrong because it's just something. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah. So. But AI suddenly it's like it can solve all the math. What? You actually mean what? I can have like AI just tell me like mad facilitation. Mad facilitation. All right, so what are you doing with your time? And you gotta pick two, and then so it's gonna be a subtask. So anyway, so here's my Project Arrowhead, right? And then I have this thing called the Rapid Race Goal Tracker. So when it comes to French, okay, flashcards while you're walking. I need to do that somehow. So it means I need a dopamine trigger because I didn't start doing it yet. But it's not that hard. With my Windsurf, what I mean by Windsurf is actually Project Arrowhead. I need to finish the journey modules, UX, fix the UI for desktop, optimize for mobile, and then connect payments. And we got click bounce. I got to connect payments, which I guess is paddle. And then, like I just showed you, like the news articles from Canada, and then I've been writing some children's books, and then apartment renovations. I just don't care. That's something I want to hire somebody else to do. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it myself. So, what are you doing with your time? Now, there's another thing called recurring tasks. So, what you care about there is a streak, and then what we're talking about here is the process value chain. Now, why it's important to understand the process value chain is because this is from Tom's book. Because the thing is, like, when you start a process, like, it's not the end. It's like, this is the end. This is not the end. Okay, here it is. So here's the process value chain. You have your current processes, so you can list the names of your processes, list the steps of those processes, or you can build a new process, which means you have to stop doing some things that don't work, start doing things, start out haphazard. Maybe you're going to hit your head, maybe you're going to fall into a hole, and then eventually you're going to be doing some A/B testing. Then you're going to start to merge aspects of the processes until you can fully automate the aspects of the processes. Boom. And then you have a fully automated process. And then you can go into Tom's book and here's the images, right? So here's the goal. This means you have a process. here is you need to stop doing some things. So there's some things which you're doing which you need to click delete, and then there's some other things which you haven't started yet. But when you start, they're going to look like this. And then as you do them, then eventually you're going to find like there's some ways that work better than others. You can test them. Then eventually you're going to start to get more outcome with the same input. And then eventually you're getting the thing that you without having to do anything. That's Tom's work. Right. So when we talk about recurring tasks, we want to have a streak, and also we want to pay attention to the process value chain. When we talk about your subtasks, then you're going to pick 2 or 3. You're going to put those into a box, and then you're going to pick the one which you want. Then you're going to debug for motivation. Right. So that's what I'm doing with my time. Now, when you move over to this box called how, then you can't just say how are you going to do it. Okay, but like when you're a manager, the main key is you want to be removing blockers, because you don't want to ask a person why. Why didn't you do it? It doesn't make sense. Why are you asking me why? Why are you asking me why? Why are you asking me why? Well, this is why. Okay, so the reason why is because I'm giving you these comments because I have very high expectations and I know you can reach them. It's like, okay, that's useful. Okay, so great, you're on my team. Like, wow, thanks. But what's more important is actually removing blockers. So I have 5 follow-up questions that will explain like how do you remove blockers from tasks. Okay, but like now, what's the point? Like, but then the question is like, why are we doing I don't want to know about how I'm going to get these tasks done, and I don't know. I don't want to know about what are the tasks I need to do. I want to know why. Why are we doing this in the first place? All right, then what you're talking about is your objectives. So when you pick objectives, you want to go through the 17-step process in order to pick your objectives. And if you need help with that, you can just go to my website. It's called projectarrowheadpages.dev journey. You click the journey module, and here's the 17 steps. Boom, 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 boom. You go through all these steps, and you're going to have very clear objectives. Then the question is, okay, well, I mean, like objective, but like, where are you going? Like, why did we pick those objectives? It's because of where we're going. So then that brings us to this idea called vision. What is the vision? Right. So where, why, how, and what? So like it couldn't be more clear. The logic behind my software is this. This is the logic. This is Project Arrowhead. Nice. So we're back to this concept called a library. How do I solve for the library? Well, project. Where's my click bounce? Where is it? Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Project Life. Okay, so here's Project Life. So what this is, it's well, I don't really even know because today's day 1. Let's ask, because we actually have we got a project. Oops. We got a Project Life. Okay, let's get started. I have Windsurf open. What do we do fast? So this is my IDE. This is my library. So I have these calibration documents. So these calibration documents, they tell either Windsurf or Google Gemini what to do, and then here's all of the like the files. They get stored away in these things, so that we can pick any model that we want anytime, and then we can change models. We can create a new chat window. We can do anything. So they always run on the same set of documentation. Since you're recording this for YouTube, we want to demonstrate exactly how fast you can get context recovery compared to normal LLM. Open the cheat sheet calibration for manual. Okay, here it is. Here's the calibration for manual. This file is your menu. You never have to memorize commands again. Wake up the ears. You need to make sure your system is listening to your phone. Open the terminal, Windsurf morning command. Ding ding. All right, well, that means we're going to need a terminal. Oops. Oh, dang it. Dun, 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 dun. I want to delete all these things. New terminal. What is going on? What are you doing? Okay, you should see the neural bridge starting. This means your private cloud is live. Wake up the brain. Let's prove that the sovereign memory concept, instead of explaining your life story to AI, will just point to your files. Copy this prompt manual into your Cascade chat. What are you doing? I'm starting the day. Read calibration 00 system handover. What is 00 system handover? System handover and calibration 2 active state. And then read the last 30 lines of the 10 stream. See if I left any late night thoughts. Summarize my current priorities and tell me if there's any blocking tasks for Project Arrowhead. There you go. So it calibrates, like in the morning, it's going to calibrate the system. And then over time, remember when I was always harping on this idea of calibration documents? And the issue is, like, I was saving it into Google Drive, which means like it's not accessible. It just doesn't work. But here I have the calibrations. They're live calibration documents. We can edit them over time. And then here is all of the input. All the files that I'm going to be inputting into the system are going to go into our file box. So we have our calibration and our long-term memory. So then the issue is, like, how do you actually enter information into your system? And so what I did was I set up, it's called a Telegram bot. So it's called the Project Life. So what I can do is, what is that name? Telegram's, okay, where's my phone? Good morning, pineapple. Hold on, give me my phone, because my phone's already connected. Oh, yo. This is the end. Oh, I didn't charge it. Dang it. Forgot about that. Gordon, let's move. Oh, of course, Gordon wants to go outside and run around. I don't think I need the bot open on my computer anymore. Okay. Oh, that's long. Okay, from your handshake, Life OS sprints 1 to 3 complete, system flag fully operational, daily usage, Arrowhead payments, neutral bridge, sync marker. Synthing and marker are built and tested. That means I can create audio files or text files through Telegram, and then they're sent automatically to my file system. Active state file still describes what the dickens? Revenue, yeah. Life OS maintain mode, not a build project. French channel, daily habits, blocking tasks for the Life OS is not a blocker. Gating work. Arrowhead payments, practical blocker. In terms of document blockers, none. Implied next critical task for Arrowhead, ship and validate the payments pipeline so Arrowhead can actually make money. If you like, the next step could be either update the active so it reflects the. All right. I mean, today's day one, so I don't know. All right. So, but the point is that since your library is here, like this, I'm maintaining my library over here. What that means is that I always have like calibration documents. I can ask Windsurf to go through the documents and then to see if there's any calibration documents that help us to use Google Gemini, and then we can create a new Google Gemini like really, really quickly. Cascade just did exactly what the chief of staff would do. Looks at your files and says, hey, the system works, but your status file is lying. It says that we're still building, but we're actually done. You're now in the golden window approaching 11 a.m. Do not waste time on admin. Let's fix the file instantly and pivot to the money-making work, Arrowhead. Here's your two-step move to start the day. Update the RAM, fix the state, copy then paste this into Windsurf. Step 2, context switch, start deep work. Once Cascade confirms the update, do not close the window, just paste the next prompt without losing context. Now with Windsurf, you can actually, it has like you see one message is queued up, so it's like no problem. Go ahead and fix the state, then attack the payments. All right, so I have a French lesson right now. In 4 minutes from now. So I'm gonna do this when I get back. But basically, it's gonna produce a couple of like out. It's gonna have some output. The other thing I just wanted to say was, oh, actually, check this out. So what happens when I talk to my Telegram? You see over here, see the file here, the voice log. Now I'm going to click my project live. All right, so we're just going to start up our French lesson right now. And then after the French lesson, we're going to have like a few minutes of planning. So I think we're going to jump back into Google Gemini to start planning. And then, yeah, so there's a couple things we could do. Let's think about what we're going to do. Either we're going to, yeah, I think that right now we're going to finish our click bounce project because we want to see if we can actually like be successful with click bounce and connect all the payments and make sure that paddle works. All right, so it's like just how do I stop this thing? I don't think you can see me. I'm trying to show you my phone. Right here. All right, so you see log, the voice log, click bounce, next steps. So Telegram, my little Telegram bot, it did that. Yeah, but I think it's supposed to appear here. What? A new entry. Okay, I heard you test voice testing the neural bridge Gemini 2. I want to know if this log. All right. Let's go to the bottom. Yeah, response. All right, so we're just starting up our French lessons right now. Then after the French lesson, we're gonna have like a few minutes for planning. I think we're gonna go to jump back into Google Gemini, start planning, and then okay, there's a couple things. So let's think about what we're gonna do. Either we can go to I think that's right. We're gonna go to click bounce, and we can see if we can actually like successful click bounce and connect all the payments and make sure the paddle works. AI response. Okay, understood. Let's keep things moving. Switch to click bounce, start paddle payments after French. Did you switch from Arrowhead because you hit a snag integrating paddle there? Click bounce is lower environment sticks, start move, finish, connecting payments and ensure paddle works end to end. What is this? You have golden window close soon and quick commit your local GitHub repository so you can easily jump back into Cascade. We'll handle this. Focus on getting that paddle sand payment flowing. Do you want to allocate your remaining time to the golden window? Okay, there you go. Now I just want to see if like does sending a text message also work now? All right, so you see it's gonna send this text message. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if it worked actually. disappeared. It disappeared from my. All right, I gotta fix that thing. I don't really care about sending text messages because the main thing is not actually for sending text; it's mainly for audio. Okay, so we proved that the audio works. I don't know what it's doing. It's gonna just do what it wants to do. The point is that, so I set this Gemini agent inside of my green tab, which is like it's my WhatsApp and my 2 Gmail accounts, and also what's the date today? December 4th. One way to avoid criticism is to do nothing. What would you what would you attempt to do if you knew that you could not fail? Anyways, I gotta go. I got my freaking French lesson.